Hello everybody, welcome to Sweden. That is grey, and did I mention grey? It's not the best weather right now, I can say that. So it's a good time to do some videos and responses, and this is a response to a minor thread by BarakaPDub, Paul. Hi there, Paul, good to see you again. He talked about bootlegs, a very interesting topic, very fun, and I thought, why not do a response? It's a great stuff to talk about, and I don't have that much bootlegs actually. They are normally pretty expensive, so I haven't gathered that much. But I have nothing against bootlegs. I think that there actually is very fun to find, because in most cases you get stuff that is outside of the artist's catalog, outside of the box, stuff that not many know about, unknown live recordings, demos, songs that haven't been released yet, stuff that is really fun to find actually. Then it's depending on the quality, of course, but we'll get back to that later. So depending on what it is, they are actually fun to find, depending on quality and so on. Then there are actually, of course, stuff that isn't all that interesting. Bootlegs, formats that I actually don't buy, and I'm talking about compilation bootlegs, when they have some fan of a band have taken the band's entire single discography, recorded it on a CD and released it unofficially. There are one good thing about it, and that is that artists sometimes tend to actually want to forget about and exclude some songs that they actually don't like. Fans that do these kind of compilation bootlegs actually, in most cases, want to have all of their songs with them, at least all of the singles. But on the other hand, buying a lot of money for songs that I actually do have, and when there are a real compilation that have been released, so I feel no reason. And when the albums looks like this, they actually, the sleeve looks not all that interesting. This was but the sleeve looks actually pretty horrible and cheap. Same goes with this Duran Duran bootleg compilation. These are bought back in 1998 when I wasn't that I didn't have that much knowledge about record collecting as I have learned today. So I actually thought that these kind of compilation bootlegs were pretty cool. I didn't know that there was a real bootleg with level 42. So I thought, well, in worst case, this can do. Now I have a official compilation with level 42, so I have no use for this at all. Actually, the real compilation contains a whole lot more than this. So this one will most likely be called away. When it comes to the Duran Duran compilation, actually it's a whole different matter, because I don't think I have a Duran Duran compilation at the moment. So this one will most likely stay until I actually find it. It's also a compilation with the best as they were in the 80s and early 90s. So good to have right now. But when I find a proper compilation by Duran Duran, this one is most likely also hit the door. So compilation bootlegs I don't like all that much. Then we have live bootlegs that I think is really great to find, because there are live concerts that not many have. Fun to have. I don't care that much if it's worth in money, but it's really fun to have as an odd stuff. Then of course the problem with live bootlegs is that actually you don't know what you're gonna get when it comes to the quality. You can have a guy that has been recording from right in the middle of the crowd in a concert and trying to record it and put it out, and it sounds not all that good. Or you could have someone standing in the front row, but still it sounds maybe not all that good, but okay. Or you can have some a recording that sounds actually good, but still I understand that it might be very, very hard for a fan to get the same quality as maybe an official live release when it comes to the sound. But it's fun to find depending on the quality. There is a little bit of risk taking when it comes to the quality. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but I try to think that even if it is so quality, you still have a recording that actually is odd comparing to their other their official release. So it's fun to have. Pretty much like this Depeche Mode bootleg, Exciter Tour, recorded live in Canada for the Exciter album, and this is a very fun story behind how I found this one. I went to Stockholm at, I think it was 11 or 12 years ago, or even more, I think it was 15 years ago. And I thought that I wanted to do something fun, so I thought that it would be a good idea to do a day trip to Stockholm. Bad idea. You don't go to Stockholm over a day and go home during the evening, because then you haven't seen even 10% of Stockholm. So I literally just walked the shopping street down to Slussen and then went back again, and then it was trying to search for. I think I was in one record store actually, but I went back again, and then I thought that when it was time for me to go to the train station and home again, I thought that what have I gotten out of this? I haven't bought one thing. So I went into a record store close to the railway station, the train station, and I digged in a cheap CD bin, and I actually found this for $5. Normally Depeche Mode bootlegs are very expensive, which is why this is actually for now the only Depeche Mode bootleg I have, but they are very expensive. But this one was actually a normal price actually. So I paid $5 for this, but this was the only thing I got out of this day trip to Stockholm. And since then I have realized that to have a real great experience, at least a weekend. But this one is really fun actually to have, even though the quality is so-so. It's not the best quality, but it's okay. You definitely hear the songs and so on. It's not horrible, but it can be a whole lot better. But it's definitely fun to have, as Depeche Mode compilations are, as I said, pretty expensive. And we have Suede and a compilation called Europe is Our Playground, live in London '96. And it also contains a BBC Radio 1 session recorded in '96. So there are two kind of concerts for the same price. Really great concerts. And this one is interesting. I bought it for I think $2. This is Erasure and a bootleg called Audiovisual, recorded the 11th of July '92 in London. This is a live concert with the that was released at the same time as recorded at the same time as ABBA-esque. So it is of course all ABBA-esque plus one more ABBA song, not an ABBA-esque on this one. And the quality is actually good. Of course, it's not the same quality as it would have been if Erasure themselves would have released it. But it's actually a really interesting and okay, great concert. So this one was a real great risk-taking, actually. Really fun to have. Then you have this kind of bootlegs that, of course, is the most fun. And that is the kind that definitely contains stuff that you don't have. Demos, or maybe rehearsals, maybe songs, unofficial songs that have yet to be released. And of course quality can be a little bit so there also, but still it's fun because it's definitely unique. It comes straight from the studio more or less in most cases. So it is still more rare than anything else actually. These are definitely fun to find, but also they are also the most expensive, even though I have been pretty lucky with those I have. This one is interesting. This is Oasis, Unfinished Sympathy. Standing on the Shoulder of Giants demo is pretty late songs then. The Standing on the Shoulder of Giants demos includes new tracks not on the album. This one is pretty fun. I also bought this for $2. Very fun to have if you're like me, an Oasis fan. This one I don't make heads or tails of. I have a hard time finding any information about this, but I'm not 100% here, but I definitely think that this is a bootleg. Even though I bought it at Ginza, the web shop, so it's bought at a pretty open record store. So I don't know, but I can't find any information of it, and when it comes to the sound of this one, it's definitely sound like bootleg. This is 94 East featuring Prince. And 94 East was the band Prince had before he got famous. Well, the quality of the songs is so, and in some songs also the quality sounds like it's almost recorded from the radio. But it's doesn't have any kind of real record label. It is released through something called a German company called Falcon Neue Medien that actually have been sued by several artists for releasing bootlegs. So that is one actually step in the right direction. And but it actually says that some here is production 86 and Prince then was releasing his Parade. I have a hard time thinking that he was actually doing songs with 94 East then. And some is actually says produced 95 during his Symbol era, which I have even more hard time believing that actually this could be made then. So I don't know what this actually is, but I think it is a bootleg. And I don't have anything by 94 East. I don't know that much about them. So only for that it's really fun to have. So I will keep it, at least for now, even though the quality isn't that best. And we have on vinyl, starting with a couple that I've been showing a couple of times, but for the sake of the topic, I'd be happy to to show it again. I've shown this Pet Shop Boys bootleg before, Heaven, London 5th October in 91. This one is, if I remember correctly, the one with the worst quality, but it isn't all that good quality, but it's okay. but can be better. Actually, I think the Depeche bootleg was even better quality. But it's really fun to have. I had it when the record store we had back then, Förlorade Favoriter, had a sellout actually. So I bought it for I think $8. This one I've shown multiple times. Is I think it still is the album that I have that is worth the most. And I also bought it for $8. This is Pet Shop Boys and Birmingham '91, a double live album. Now the interesting thing is that this has actually been released afterwards as a DVD. So I have both this bootleg and I have it on DVD as well, official DVD. But it's okay quality, better quality than Heaven actually. But it's actually real great to have. And quality or not, I wouldn't give up these for the world. I think this one is definitely fun to have for Pet Shop Boys fans like myself. And finally, an album that also is very interesting. This is the new rehearsals and full versions U2. And this is also double album set. This is actually pretty good because it contains instrumentals tracks, some maybe almost blues tracks, tracks with of course bonus singing, and it says here the only one downside of it is that it don't say which songs it is, because it says here, for the titles have a look at the forthcoming album, which when this was released was Achtung Baby. Date of release will be expected in autumn of '91. That is definitely an exact date. You have a pretty much span between the dates there, well, it's definitely fun to have rehearsals and full versions, which I think means bootlegs, demos, most likely. So definitely fun to have. So, as I said, bootlegs is fun because it is something outside of the artist's normal box, something that they don't have released, and that you feel pretty exclusive to have it. Even though I normally don't care about what it's worth, I would actually be interested in this or this Pet Shop Boys bootleg, even if it wasn't worth $1 actually on Discogs. I wouldn't care less, but it's fun to have because it is something odder outside of the discography of the band. But it depends on the quality, and there is the problem. It is a risk take, so it's always have to think about it before you buy it. But it's always the fun thing to feel exclusive, to have something that not many have. So I'm not that against bootlegs, only bad bootlegs, and that is the problem. What is bad bootleg other than compilation bootlegs? I hope to find more actually, even though they are very expensive, and I don't find it all that much. And it's not that important, but it's fun to have, and I really like to be surprised when I'm digging to find some bootlegs. It's very fun actually. So I hope, Paul, that you are satisfied with my response and with my showings. I hope that you and everybody else have a real nice time in the autumn. No matter where you are, no matter what you do, take care and so long.